Hi YouTube, I want to do a quick video on finance and bouncing back after filing Chapter 7 for bankruptcy. So, I'm going to tell you my story. In October of 2013, 2013, I filed Chapter 7. I was discharged February 4th or 6th of 2014. And January of this year, 2016, I had my pre-approval for a home purchase. And it was just obviously contingent on me not closing before February. I used a company called B-A-N-C Home Loans. They are based out of California. The guy I used, his name was Christopher. And they did my home loan. Filing for bankruptcy is very scary. It's very stressful, and at the time, I'm not gonna lie, I was flat broke. I wasn't making that much money. My son was what? I think he was, let me see, 10, 11, 12, 13. My son was 4. And I'm not gonna lie, having a baby really depleted my finances very quickly. I did not realize how expensive it was to have a child. That is why I only have the one. Yeah, so I filed for bankruptcy, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a migraine literally from like October until February. It was stressful. You do have to go to court. You answer a few questions that are asked by your attorney in front of the judge, and it's just simple yes or no questions. The documentation that I had to take in for the bankruptcy was obviously, I think it was like 2 years of tax returns, like 3 or 6 months of pay stubs, or it might have been a whole year. But I had to take in, I don't know the exact amount, so don't, hold me bottle to that. But it was pay stubs, bank statements. I had to print a copy of my credit report. I also had to list any other creditors, the account numbers, and the balance and the mailing address for anything that was not listed on my credit report. I also had to give them a monthly budget that basically broke down how I paid my bills and how much money I had left over at the end of the month. If you have too much money left over, sorry for the movement, they will make you file a Chapter 13. And with mine, I think the way it all played out, I was still able to do a Chapter 7. The only thing that I hate that they made me put on that Chapter 7 was I had just had LASIK surgery. I don't even think it was a year old. I think I had it in like May, and I wanted to still make my payments on the LASIK eye surgery. I haven't even called to check and see if my warranty is still good. It probably ain't, because they discharged it all off with bankruptcy. I did not want to put that on there at all. Another thing about filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, if you have a vehicle that is financed, I had a car note with Ally, and I paid my payment every month on time or early like I always did. And they didn't report any payments from October until February. And so at first I was supposed to keep the car, and then I decided to go ahead and rescind it, where basically I go ahead and give it back because they weren't reporting my payments. And what my attorney told me was that when you file for bankruptcy, if you do decide to keep your car, the lender has the option to not report it, or they can report it. The main reason why I decided to keep that car was because I thought, oh, okay, if I keep making my payments, that'll at least be a start, at getting my credit together. And the stuff that was on my credit, I'm not gonna lie, it was old. Like old, like over 7 years old. And it kept getting resold to different debtors, or creditors, however you want to call it. It just kept getting sold, and it would not fall off. I did credit repair, and the stuff fell off, and then it all reappeared at the same doggone time. And so then you get all this new stuff reappearing, or it looks new, and it pulls your score down really bad. When I did file for bankruptcy, I'm not gonna lie, my score dropped 50 points. But I was able to go out and get a new car literally like the day after I got my discharge paper, and it wasn't brand new, but it was, you know, it was new. It was it 2014? So I think I had like a 2010, 20 between 2010 to 2012. I had got a Malibu, and I had an Impala before, but the Malibu was actually way more sporty. It had dual exhaust, leather interior. It was the XLT model, so sunroof, Bose speakers, all that stuff. It was a really nice car. So I gave back the Impala and I took the Malibu. And then, of course, after I did that, then Ally started posting my payments on my credit that I had made. And the funny thing is, I even called Ally to ask them, are you going to post my payments? And they could not give me an answer. So if you have a vehicle and you're filing for bankruptcy, and if you notice that they have not posted your payments, I would say do the paperwork. I think it's like a rescind letter or something like that, where you can acknowledge that, yeah, this is a debt that I'm keeping, but if need be, I can give it back. If you sign that paperwork and say a couple of months after your discharge you notice that they're still not posting your payments, you know, I would say, hey, put up a couple months worth of car payments and get you another car. On the flip side, me buying the Malibu actually did jump my credit score up 50 points, which put it back to where it was at. And I paid that note for, a year. And then after a year paying that note, I got one credit card. It was not secured because I already had a year of good payment history with that car note. I was able to get a credit card without it having to be secured, without it having to have a deposit. It did have like a $30 annual fee, but that was it. So I got that card, and then so I had the credit card and I had my car note, and I paid those every month. Then I needed some tires, so I got a Firestone card. I charged the tires. I paid off over half of it before the first bill even came. So the first half of actually what I charged on the card didn't even show up on my credit report. And then like the next month I paid off the rest of it. It was just literally, they gave you a discount if you had a card, and then they gave you a discount for using the card, and then you had, I think it was, if it was over $299, you got 6 months to pay it back without interest. So 6 months to pay back $800 wasn't bad, but I knocked it out in 2. So that credit card, it literally has nothing on it as of what, probably about a year and a half now. It ain't had nothing on it at all. It's just there for emergency purposes. If I was to ever need it and, you know, have a tire issue and I don't have cash on me, I can go get a tire from Firestone. And so between those 3 cards, and me paying my payments on the actual credit card and on my car note every month on time, within 2 years I had gotten my credit score back up. It was beyond, because now you have to have, I believe it's 640 or 650, because it's not 620 no more. It used to be 620 back in the day. It's not, I think it's like 640 or 650 you have to have. My credit score was beyond that point. And actually bank home loans can do your home loan. If you have at least a 580, they can get you into a FHA. So I did that. Contacting the bank, I had to give them 2 years of taxes, I think a month of pay stubs, 3 months of bank statements, and that was it. I gave them that, and then later on they did ask for the scheduling from my bankruptcy, which is basically when it basically shows everything that was filed. I had to give them the scheduling as well as the discharge, and then at the end I had to write a note explaining what happened and why I had to file for bankruptcy. And in that note, don't make it long. Make it short and sweet. In mine, I talked about how, having a kid was financially straining, about how little money I made and how much I make now. And I also talked about my future raise so that they would know that, yeah, back then I was making, I'm not going to say about how much, but I was making way less than what I'm making now. And my pay has went up substantially, and it will continue to increase, so that's a plus. Also, I think that was basically what I put in that note, was just basically, hey, I had a kid, stuff got rough, when you have kids, and, you got to adjust how you adjust, and some stuff kind of got pushed to the back burner because it wasn't a necessity. I literally had that conversation with the creditor one time. She called me and was asking about paying a credit card bill, and I did eventually pay that card off. But she was like, well, you owe us this money. I said, now I also owe the light company, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm not paying for no credit card that I don't have and I can't use. I need to pay for lights that I'm using right now that me and my kid need. So that's your answer on that one. Them creditors can be kind of rude sometimes, can't they? They will come at you like, if you don't pay your bill, they ain't gonna get their check. You still getting paid regardless. I'm sorry. Got a little sidetracked. But anyway, so that was how I went about bouncing back from bankruptcy. So first thing I did was I bought a car. A year later, I got a credit card. Probably 6 months after I got the first credit card, I got a Firestone card. And between those 3 lines of credit, the funny thing is, after I filed for bankruptcy, this is how you know the stuff that was on my credit was owed. After everything said discharged for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, everything fell off my credit, like everything. I don't have nothing on there besides student loans, my car, my mortgage, and 2 credit cards. That's all that's on my credit now. Literally, nothing else is on there. If that's how old, when I say that stuff was old and they just refused to let it drop off, they claim it's a 7-year period. That's crap. Because I went through credit repair. I spent $600 for credit repair, and it never fell off. It fell off and then it popped right back up. It fell off long enough for them to get the paperwork to say, hey, this person actually does owe us, and then they post it right back on your credit. And I knew the stuff was owed because it was under my maiden name. I had been married by that time for like 7 years, and that stuff was 2 or 3 years old when I got married. So you talking stuff that was every bit of between 7 and 9 years old. So literally, as soon as it all said discharged in bankruptcy, everything fell off. So I think that also kind of helped me out too a lot, that literally all of that stuff fell off. But life does exist after bankruptcy. You can buy a house 2 years after bankruptcy. You do have to do FHA, but you can do it. If you wait 5 years, you can do conventional, or you can buy a house in 2, wait 3 more years, and then refinance the conventional, which is my plan to lower my payment. My interest rate right now is I think it's 3.625, so it's a really low interest rate. So yeah, you can do it. You can bounce back after Chapter 7. I did not do Chapter 13. I did Chapter 7. I know a few people that have done Chapter 13, and it can kind of be a booger because you got to make payments on stuff. Now, some people that I've known that have done it because they had big houses and BMWs and all types of credit cards. I didn't have all that type of stuff. The biggest thing that helped me be able to file bankruptcy, I'm not going to lie, is student loans and my car loan. Because most of the stuff that was on there, it was like literally little small stuff. I didn't do that much to my credit, but it was just because it was so much, and because everything was being reported multiple times, it just made my credit look really bad. And credit repair did not help me. It was a waste of $600. That's something you can do on your own. If you can go online and go to Google, or you can go on Yahoo or Bing and type in a credit dispute letter. Take it, copy it in the Word, put your name and information on it, put down your creditors, and send it all into all 3 bureaus. You can do it yourself. There's no need to pay somebody $600 to do it. Because for me, it was a waste of $600. I still end up spending, what was it, $1,500 to file for bankruptcy. It was $600 down and $300 a month for 3 months. Tracy L. Robinson Law Firm in Kansas City, Missouri. If you're in the Kansas City metro area, they will get you right. So yeah, that is my Chapter 7 bankruptcy experience, and that is my experience also purchasing a home after filing Chapter 7. I have purchased a nice home for me and my family. God's been good, but I just wanted to share my little story. This is actually probably the second video for Shalise Speaks, the actual talking version of my channel. Thanks for watching. If you have any type of topics that you would like to talk about, please post a comment down below. Like it, subscribe, share it with people. You may know somebody that is thinking about doing Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and they're scared and they don't know what to do. They don't know if they're going to be able to do it. I honestly say it is probably one of the best decisions that I have made financially. It was a hard one, I'm not going to lie, because I thought about filing for bankruptcy for about maybe a year and a half before I actually did it. And when I went through all that credit repair and I spent that money and I still was not able to get a house loan, that's when I was like, you know what, at this point I don't have nothing else to lose. I was renting anyway, so it wasn't like they was going to put me out. I was already in the house. So I went for it, and for me it worked. I'm not a irresponsible spender. I just had a lot of dumb stuff I did at 18 and 19 years old. That's all. So thank you so much for watching this video. It's getting very long. I do apologize if you've made it this long. Thank you so much. But yeah, this is how I got through Chapter 7.